In the vibrant community of an African village called Omoda, their community was truly blessed with natural resources, fresh flowing rivers, fruitful farmlands, beautiful maidens, wives, and children nursed from the rich produce of Umuda kingdom. Of the beautiful families, Ekene's family was one of the young families that existed in the land. This was because Ekene was married to one of the most beautiful maidens of the kingdom. Their marriage looked like it was made in heaven, with Ekene being one of the most handsome young men with a great career as a productive farmer. He inherited mass farmland from his fathers and has plenty workmen who toiled on the farmlands to produce farm produce which were sold both within and beyond the kingdom, making Ekene one of the richest young men in the kingdom. His beautiful wife, Oledo, was an envy to so many other women as she did not go out to work or go to farm like other women. Her husband insisted she must stay at home and look after the family. Her husband nicknamed her Aponau, meaning she does not need to go out in the sun. While so many other women envied Oledo, she was gossiped and seemed the talk of the kingdom among other women. The reason was because she was barren. While so many other women gossip about Oledo, her barrenness and her husband's decision for her not to involve in any work. She even has maids that does the house chores for her. Oledo appeared unbothered about her inability to have children. Her husband told her never to bother as he believes they will have their own children when their chi is ready to give them children. Oledo spends most of her day making her hair, applying makeup, and adorning the finest clothes to always look extraordinarily beautiful. She goes to the market adorned in expensive jewelries, clothes provided by her husband, who travels far and wide to other villages. Her husband was indeed mesmerized by her beauty and would often flaunt his wife before his friends, proudly telling them how he is lucky to have such a beautiful wife to marry. Unknown to him, his friends also mocked him behind him and made jest of him over flaunting a woman who could not bear him children. Among his friends was his best friend called Arinze. Arinze has often advised him in the past to stop boasting publicly about the beauty of his wife and instead start looking for solution to his wife's barrenness. He would usually laugh it off and tell his best friend Arinze that children will come when their chi is ready. Meanwhile, his friend Arinze has two wives and seven children. While Akene talks about the charming beauty of his wife, Arinze boasts about his two wives and his many children and how they all treat him as a king. Despite their differences, they both remain best of friends. They had an unspoken bond that they had shared from their youthful days. They were both loyal to their friendship and have helped each other to achieve so much in acquiring wealth in their young age. Ekene confides in Arinze on so many matters. They shared in so many dreams and hopes for the future. They were both seen in most evenings in each other's houses, enjoying fresh palm wine and fresh cooked food by their wives. One fateful evening, Oledo has returned from the market in tears. She was sobbing so much that her maids who accompanied her to the market could not console her. They arrived home and met Ekene and Arinze enjoying palm wine. Ekene was shocked to see his wife crying. They both interrogated her on the reason for her tears. She was sobbing so much that she could not speak. The maids then explained to Ekene and Arinze that Oledo had an argument with a woman in the market, and the woman mocked her of her childlessness and spending so much money, making herself beautiful without any children to show for her beauty. This angered her husband, Ekene, and he demanded to know who insulted his wife. The maid told him other women joined in laughing and mocking Oledo. Ekene was so angry and wanting to rush to the market square. However, he was stopped by Arinze, who asked him not to do any such thing and it would generate further ridicule, both for him and his wife. He further advised Ekene to report the matter to the king of their village, Umoda, who will summon the women and get them punished accordingly. That night, Oledo could not sleep. She wet her pillow with tears. When she thought about the painful and hurtful words said to her about her inability to have children, oh, how they mocked her and laughed at her. Her husband did everything to console her, but she refused to be consoled, and she cried so much. And she came up with a plan to have a child by all means, to prove to everyone in the village, especially the women that mocked her, that she can bear a child. The following week, when Ekene was ready to go to the neighboring village to sell his farm produce, he bid his wife and his neighbors farewell. He asked his neighbor to look after his beautiful wife. After he has left, Oledo sneaked out of the house and went towards Arinze's house. This was because she knew Arinze's two wives and children would be in the farmland, and she had it all planned with Arinze to arrive in his house that morning. She arrived into Arinze's compound and she sneaked her into his bedroom. They continued with their affair for months without anyone noticing or suspecting Ekene's wife, Oledo. Ekene's wife, Oledo, kept acting as a loving wife to Ekene that no one suspected a thing. One day, Oledo became so sick. She was vomiting and felt so unwell. Ekene was scared and invited the local healer. The local healer came to Oledo. He checked her all over and realized she was carrying a child. And he told Ekene that Oledo was carrying a child. Wow! They were both overjoyed. Finally, their chi has answered their prayers. Ekene was indeed a happy and joyful man, that he went about telling everyone about his beautiful wife and their unborn baby. Unknown to him, there was a very dark secret about the unborn child. As time went by, Oledo's pregnancy has progressed and has passed 9 months, but she still had not delivered their child. Both Oledo and Ekene became really worried and troubled. They were scared they might lose their baby. Ekene was in panic and consulted the oracle of their kingdom to find out why the child was not yet delivered. The oracle told Ekene that his wife has committed a taboo and must confess before the whole village. Otherwise, both she and the child would die. Ekene was shocked and afraid. He got home and told his wife what the oracle said. She became terrified, but told Ekene she had nothing to hide, and Ekene believed her. On the set day, the oracle and all the people of the village gathered, and Oledo was summoned. She was asked to confess to the whole village. If not, she and her child will die. Even though she wanted to lie, she was overcome by the power of the oracle. She broke down in tears and started weeping. was taken to the inner chambers after much pressure from the people, and she broke down in front of the elders and told them how she so badly wanted a child after being mocked by the women in the village, that she planned with her husband's best friend to get her pregnant. Ekene was devastated. The whole village was shocked. Ekene broke down and cried in front of the whole village. He was so shocked about the betrayal from his best friend and his charming wife, Apunaun. That night, Oledo tried to escape from their home as she couldn't face the shame, but she was stopped by Ekene. He told her he had forgiven her. He told her he knew she wanted to get him children to make him happy and make him a father. He promised her to look after her and their unborn child. However, they will have to leave the village to another town to avoid further disgrace and shame. Oledo could not believe her ears. She thanked her husband profusely, weeping and thanking him for forgiving her and accepting her unborn child. Before sunrise, they gathered some of their belongings and sneaked out of the village to a land known only to them, where they will have their unborn child and raise him happily ever after. As time went by, Ekene brought forth their child, and it was a beautiful baby girl. They named her Amara, which means grace. In that land, Ekene found favor. He also started farming and had big farmland where he produced fresh food. When the child turned a year, they had a big party to celebrate the arrival of the child. Ekene and Oledo were blessed in that land that they also had more children in addition to having Amara. Oledo could not believe how Hachi has blessed her with such a good man who forgave her from her dark secrets. I hope you enjoyed this story of Eledo and Ekene. See you in the next video.